first year students, the text set for you here is diametrically different from that of the SSC, because this text covers the whole 100 marks for you. So we have to read and go through the text word for word and between the lines. Let us first start with the most difficult address set for you. Here, 3 addresses are there. One of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, one of Nelson Mandela, and the other of Martin Luther King Jr. Today, we shall start with not Martin Luther King Jr., but Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela. First, you have to know who this Nelson Mandela was. He was actually the greatest leader of South Africa. In fact, he was one of the greatest leaders of the world. When the Europeans were separated from the non-Europeans, it was their government policy to keep themselves separated from the blacks, the black people of the whole world. And it was very sad that it was their government policy of racial segregation. At that time, the blacks were treated very cruelly. They were denied all sorts of basic human rights. Even dogs received much better treatment than a black one. Nelson Mandela is the man who stood against these sorts of indignities and inequalities. Our great leader Nelson Mandela vowed to put an end to these inhuman practices. But sadly enough, he was thrown behind prison bars at that time. But his spirit couldn't be broken. And the time he spent behind bars made him the world's most celebrated political prisoner. He began to struggle against this apartheid, race discrimination. You know, at that time, the South African blacks were treated very cruelly. They were subjected to all sorts of indignities. And against these sorts of treatment, Mandela stood. Now, let us translate the passage into easier English. Open at page, in this book, page perhaps 1, and the newer edition, the page must be 3 or 4 or 5. Let us translate his address into easier English. Nelson Mandela guided South Africa from the shackles of apartheid to a multiracial democracy. It is Nelson Mandela who guided South Africa from racial discrimination to a kind of democracy where every people, where every race participated. As an icon of peace and reconciliation, who came to embody the struggle for justice around the world. Here, you may know, he was the symbol of peace and reconciliation, peace and punormilon, who came to embody, and this Nelson Mandela actually established the struggle for justice around the world at that time. Imprisoned for nearly 3 decades, he was then imprisoned. He was then sent to bars for nearly 3 decades, 30 years. Because of what? Because of his fight against white minority rule. The people actually who were the minority ruled the majority black people there. Mandela never lost his resolve to fight for his people's emancipation. In spite of being imprisoned, he never lost his determination to fight for his people's liberation, for the fight for his people's emancipation. He was determined to bring down apartheid. It was his resolve to break down apartheid or racial discrimination while avoiding a civil war. You see, he was the only man who could avoid civil war during his struggle against the white minority rule. Then his prestige and charisma helped him win the support of the world. His dignity, sense of dignity, and a special quality actually helped him to win the support of the whole world. Here you see some words that are often said as synonyms and antonyms in your exams. Try to take down the words. Apartheid, A-P-A-R-T-H-E-I-D. If you were asked to tell the synonym of the word discrimination or race discrimination, boishamo. You see the word shackles. Shackles of apartheid. Shackles mean chain, shrinkle, synonyms. If you are asked to give the antonym of shackles, it will be freedom. Freedom. Then the word emancipation. 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 Mukti. Synonym freedom or liberation or independence. Then resolve. He never lost his resolve to fight for his people's emancipation. Resolve, R-E-S-O-L-V-E. Resolve, here it is a noun word. Resolve, if you are asked to give the synonym, it will be determination. Determination, protor. then the word minority. Usually, an antonym is asked for minority, and the antonym will be majority. Okay, here some questions may be set. Take down the questions. Take down the questions. First, who is Nelson Mandela? Question number 2, what did he do? Question number 3, what helped him win the support of the world? Another question. Why was he imprisoned? Why was he imprisoned? In the next class, you will come to me having the answers to these questions, and we will try to pass on to the other page. Okay, dear students, see you later on.